Today on Locked On Red Wings, we look ahead to see if there's any place that Thomas Greiss could fit at the trade deadline, and we also preview the Toronto Maple Leafs on Saturday night.
You're Locked On Red Wings, your daily podcast on the Detroit Red Wings, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to the Locked On Red Wings podcast. We are your hosts, Brian Fisher and Scotty Bentley. Scotty, of course, also host at Locked On Tigers.
Interview tomorrow. Tigers'
that's right.
4th round pick. Friday's episode of Locked On Tigers, Tyler Madison, who was drafted in the 4th round. 4th round pick just last year. Is looking to – he's starting his first season of pro ball this year because not everybody – baseball is weird and not everybody starts playing right away because the baseball draft is in the middle of the season, which means it's at the end of the collegiate season. So he did pitch last year, but not for the Tigers organization, whatever. So – talked to him about some of his favorite Tigers of all time, his pitch repertoire, just kind of shot the crap for a little bit. He's a really, really cool guy, for real. So that interview with Tigers 4th rounder Tyler Madison is today's episode. I forgot that this is a Friday's episode. Today's episode of Locked On Tigers, interview with Tyler Madison. Super cool guy.
You guys might not know this, but Scotty's kind of a big deal over there at Locked On Tigers, so you might want to give this a listen. Thanks for making Locked On Red Wings your first listen every single day. We are free and available on all platforms. Scotty, today we got a full docket. First segment here we're going to dedicate just to Thomas Greiss as furthering our trade deadline discussion. I don't even know what you're doing
I
right
look
now.
huge right now. I don't know.
You are huge, Scotty. You're like 7'5".
No, but I look like huge, bro. I look like the abominable snowman.
You are definitely an abomination. Second segment, we are previewing the Toronto Maple Leaf game. And then third segment, a little bit of how to feel about it Friday.
Wow. That was a bar.
I love you, buddy.
Love you too, bud.
So let's start off this Thomas Greiss conversation. He is in the final year of his contract with the Detroit Red Wings. He's making $3.5 million this season. His stats so far this season, he's got a .292 goals against average and a save percentage of .909. So on the surface, pretty good numbers for a backup, especially one that's 36 years old. The question becomes, how many teams out there, Scotty, are looking for a backup goaltender? And how many of those teams have the cap space to take on one that has a cap hit of $3.5 million?
Right. I think ideally the way you get a decent return that justifies moving him is to eat some of that salary. The Red Wings have a ton of cap, and it would just make everything a lot easier. And if you ate all of it, there's nothing to say you couldn't booster that return a little bit more than even what you thought you were going to get originally. So I think that's probably the route they go, especially because whoever comes up and plays, it'll be Calvin will come up and play backup goalie, and that won't be that won't cost the team salary wise anything. So I think it makes the most sense with how much cap they have and the fact that it's an expiring deal to just say we'll eat the entirety of this contract for wherever they would, in theory, end up dishing him to. Also, we can just get this out of the way early. Ned not going anywhere. Now
absolutely not.
Go back to Greiss.
Yeah. So we've been breaking up our trade deadline discussion by, the position groups, and the goaltending is really just Thomas Greiss because, like you said, Nedeljkovic is not going anywhere.
Yeah, decent chance. I would say Greiss gets moved, though. I think that's a decently likely. I wouldn't say it's the most likely on the team, but I would say
he'd be easy to move. But I just don't know how attractive he is to
for sure. No
organizations.
Absolutely. Honestly, I think the Rangers should pick him up just so that they can guarantee that he doesn't sun them again.
That's a good point. Give him a sure.
Don't even have to play him. Don't even have to play him. Just have him just for the sheer purpose of not getting owned by him next time he goes up against them, wherever they go.
And so it brings up a valuable question of what kind of return can you expect out of a guy at 36 years old? Having a decent season, he's definitely picked up his play lately, but also hitting with that 3.5 salary cap space. His numbers, his advanced numbers are a little bit down. His expected, his high danger goals saved above average is a goal below where it's expected to, where it should be or expected to be right now. And that's pretty much the case across the board at mid-range shots and long-distance shots. He is below where they projected him to be at this point this season. As the season goes on, that could be rectified as he's been heating up a lot lately. But when you look at those numbers and organizations look at those numbers and they see his age and they see his cap, what team that needs a backup is going to go, Thomas Greiss is the guy who's going to solidify our goaltending? It's just there's not a lot of options, I feel like. So I feel with limited options, the return you're going to get on him is also going to be very limited.
For sure. Maybe an opponent that plays the Rangers a lot. Yeah, I'm very hung up on this him being the father of the New York Rangers organization thing. Maybe someone in that division that plays the Rangers a lot down the stretch. Maybe wants a little Thomas Greiss.
Capitals.
They have like no cap though, don't they?
No,
Aren't they like?
Well, that's
I'm pretty sure they're not even like. No, I'm pretty sure they have like one of the biggest negative cap. They have like nothing. Yeah.
No, and I say that in jest because they have a pretty good rivalry going on.
Right,
I don't think there's really any besides there's one team, and I feel like they're going to be a recurring team in this conversation because they're a team that has two really good players, but outside of that has no depth on their hockey team, pretty much whatsoever. That's the Edmonton Oilers.
Horrible goaltending situation.
I'm pretty sure we mentioned Holland and the Edmonton Oilers in the defense episode as well as a possible landing spot for Nick Leddy.
I feel like we just all kind of want an Yzerman Holland trade to happen because everyone knows we would get the better end of the deal.
Right? But seriously though, Thomas Greiss would come in and very quickly become their second best goaltender. He'd immediately slot in and be their actually, he could slot in basically be their best goaltender. He could be their starter with how poor their goaltending has been. Mikko Koskinen in 28 games played has a save percentage of .899. Stuart Skinner has a save percentage of .913 in 13 games played. And Mike Smith with 13 games played has an .891. Thomas Greiss has a save percentage of .909. So he's 4 points below the goaltender Stuart Skinner, who has 13 games played. That's their current backup. So Thomas Greiss could go there and immediately have a positive impact on their goaltending situation. And you can't, and the argument there is, okay, their goaltending is bad because their team is bad. Well, newsflash, the Red Wings defense isn't that much better, if at all better, than the Edmonton Oilers defense. And at least the Edmonton Oilers put up 6 goals a night. So to go to the Edmonton Oilers would definitely be an option for the Detroit Red Wings. But the question is how do you make that trade work? Because Oilers, Scotty, are another one of those teams that have no projected cap space. They have $700,000 in current cap space available. So you're going to have to finagle with salary cap to make it work, which means you're basically going to have to get somebody back in dead cap in order to make this work. But that does benefit the Red Wings in the aspect that they would get a higher draft pick or multiple draft picks to take on cap space back to free up stuff for Edmonton.
Yes, I think that there is a possibility of a really nice return there if not only you take one of their bad contract cap hits, but also if you were to eat Greiss's deal, you can afford to do both. Especially
maybe retain 50 or 25 on Greiss.
Right. Even like, especially if the dude on Edmonton is an expiring deal as well. I mean, my goodness, man, like just eat as much as you're comfortable with eating and just raise that return up. You know what I'm saying? Like that scenario could turn a legitimate return for a backup goalie.
No, and they have a list of candidates that, because Ken Holland did what Ken Holland does. And some of these contracts were signed before Ken Holland came in, but they have a lot of really big percentage of their cap space contracts. The guy that I see first, and the guy I really don't want on the Red Wings, but would be the easiest to make it work, would be getting a guy like Duncan Keith, who's 38 years old. He's currently on the injured reserve. The problem is he has another year on his contract. So if you were to take that contract, it'd also be affecting you next year, even if he doesn't play whatsoever, because he's getting Ken Holland signed him to a 2-year, $5.5 million a year contract for a 38-year-old. I don't know. Ken Holland was high when he made this signing. I don't know what was in his water, but that was an awful signing for a player that at one point was, one of the best defensemen in the game, but he's not at this point. But
yeah, no.
It's just such an awful signing. But he's also like, you want to free up cap space. There you go. And if you take on a contract like that, even if they end up retaining part of it, like you're getting a much higher draft pick out of this trade.
Yeah, man. Get on. You kill me, man. Yes.
Was it me saying Ken Holland was high with that signing?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah. No. Rough contract. Rough deal to dish out there. And that one, you're right. Anything that's more than a rental is a little. That's when you start getting the conversation of it being a little steep. But again, if they say here's Duncan Keith, and like if we're starting to talk about like second, third round picks for a backup goalie, but we take on Duncan Keith, we got almost $9 million cap right now, dog. Like it does hinder a little bit of what you're gonna do, or what you'd be able to do in the offseason, I guess. But also we have our fair share of expiring deals on top of that. Like we have so much cap room to play around with. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm not.
Well, it doesn't have to be. Duncan Keith was just a hypothetical.
No.
There's other guys.
I get what you're saying.
Kyle Turris is another guy. He's going to be a UFA at the end of the season. He's making $1.65 million. He's on the IR. 32 years old. You got Chris Russell. You're not going to get Pulvari. You don't want. They're not going to give him up. On long-term injury reserve, they got Oscar Klefbom, Zach Cassian. Zach Cassian, I know, is a pretty polarizing player in the Edmonton Oilers, mythos. You got Josh Archibald. Josh Archibald, in fact, is going to be a UFA at the end of the season. So they got a couple options: Kyle Turris, Chris Russell, and Archibald as guys who are on expiring deals that are going to be UFAs at the end of the season. You could take on. Kyle Turris would probably make the most sense to take back if you retain 50% on Greiss, and they were to ship out Kyle Turris in exchange. They're only paying essentially. You're basically exchanging Kyle Turris' contract for what's left of Thomas Greiss's contract. So taking on that Kyle Turris contract.
Right.
Then the other option then is now you're taking on another center and right wing. So that's another depth issue thing going on with your forward core. So there's a lot of factors. This is why I'm not a general manager. But these are just options to make it work salary cap wise for the Edmonton Oilers, because they definitely need the help at goaltending. And seems like a very good landing spot to get a draft pick out of Ken Holland.
Yes. No, it does. I would love to pounce on that opportunity, and I do think that there is a potential trade there, given how desperate they are to give McDangles any help.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't need help.
No, it's Built Bar today. I don't know how to transition this.
You know what doesn't need help? Your New Year's resolutions, because it barely feels like a resolution because of how good Built Bars taste.
Oh, wait, here. Let me just share this. I'm not going to share the screen. I almost shared the screen and just had you read it.
Man, I already read my Built Bar ad for the day. You take it away.
This is the time of year that you've pretty much given up on all your New Year's resolutions, but not this year. You're sticking to this resolution to eat right thanks to Built Bar. It almost feels like it's not really a resolution because you actually enjoy eating them. Have you tried their puffs? If you haven't, you're missing out on one of Built Bar's best tasting bars. Puffs are the first ever protein-infused marshmallow. They're fluffy. They're marshmallowy. They're not just a protein bar. They're a treat, and they're covered in 100% real chocolate. Built bars have low calorie, high protein. Replace your candy bars with these. They are better. A typical candy bar can be anywhere from 200 to 300 calories. Go to built.com and scroll down to the macros chart. You'll be blown away. High protein, low cal, high fiber, low carb. Most protein bars contain 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs, and 17 grams of protein. So go to built.com, use promo code LOCKED15 and get 15% off your order. Use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com. You're so aggressively holding your microphone. Oh, all right, Scotty. Let's preview that Red Wings Maple Leafs game that's going to take place. I accidentally just hit the back arrow on my tab, so now I have to go back forward.
On Saturday night at 7:30 in Little Caesars Arena.
At Little Caesars Arena. Second half of a doubleheader, too, so the ice might be a little choppy in that one because the Pistons play at noon.
A little choppy ice. Can't be worse than what we were playing on in Madison Square Garden.
Heyo. Yeah, Scotty. As far as I know, the Dylan Larkin is up in the air whether or not he's going to play in that game. It was a maintenance day for him today against or at practice, and Jeff Blasher was not clear whether or not he's going to play. I have faith D-Boss is going to play. This is going to be the third time these two teams have met so far this season. Maple Leafs taking the first two. Maple Leafs winning 5-4 back in October and then 7-4 on January 29th. That was a brutal... That game hurt. That last game at Little Caesars Arena after the Red Wings had, a 3-goal lead or something crazy like that and just absolutely blew it. And one of their players had a hat trick. I can't remember which. I kind of blocked that out of my memory altogether. Yeah, the Toronto Maple Leafs are another scary team, and we've talked about it. This stretch is just full of scary teams. But in regards to the Maple Leafs themselves, they're on a 3-game losing streak. They lost a back-to-back in Montreal, so we're not the only teams that get embarrassed in Montreal. And then they lost.
No. We gotta spend more time on this. The Maple Leafs lost to the last place Montreal Canadiens, and they got pumped. It was like 3-1 2 minutes into the second period. They got embarrassed by a horrid Montreal Canadiens team. Yeah, the Habs embarrassed them.
Cole Caulfield had an absolutely phenomenal game in that one too.
Yes, absolutely hysterical content. I was laughing with tears during the game. It was hysterical and beautiful.
All I have to say, Scotty, is beware the get-right game. Because they're on a 3-game losing streak. They're going to a team like the Detroit Red Wings, who they have success against so far this season, a big rival.
For sure. Hey, I'm not saying that we're going to smoke them too or anything. I just think it's funny. The Maple Leafs are going to Maple Leaf. Like, it's just they're always going to be the Toronto Maple Leafs, and it's hilarious. No, I mean, jokes aside, this is a phenomenal team. They are in the top 10 in quite literally every single statistical team category there is. Goals for, 4th. Goals against, 10th. Goal differential, 7th. Power play, 1st. They almost have a 31% power play.
Oh, disgusting.
5th in penalty kill at 85.2. 3rd in lowest PIMS. 9th in save percentage. And the best team in the NHL in the faceoff circle.
Yeah, that's hard to overcome.
Especially when the Red Wings are between 22 and 27 in all said categories.
Yeah. Yet, they continue to surprise us.
They do. Damn right.
They played hard against Colorado. They abandoned all defense against Colorado. But it was a hard-fought game where they outshot their opponent. Just before that, they beat the New York Rangers at Madison Square Garden. So anything can happen, especially at Little Caesars Arena. If Dylan Larkin's healthy, they have a much bigger chance. I think Nedeljkovic starts this game. I'm not entirely sure, but...
Man, I'm done guessing. I've been wrong 5 games in a row. I'm done guessing.
What happened to Oracle? When the Oracle kind of died on us.
Hey, First off, watch yourself, okay? He ain't going nowhere, okay? Don't you ever disrespect the Oracle like that ever again, okay? Second off, I gotta have a feel, I'm not just gonna throw out takes. I have to have the Oracle senses tell me what's gonna happen, and we just haven't had a good feeling in a while. That's all.
Okay, well then let me ask you this: if the Detroit Red Wings were to win this game, how's it going to happen? Who's going to be the reason why they win this hockey game?
I would say the X factor for Toronto. I feel like Bert. I feel like I want to say Bert. That's going to be a really physical game. We just listed. That's an incredibly talented team, but a physical team. And Bert's the chippy blue collar, going to meet you in front of the net and go to war with you right in front of the net there. So I think that Bert having a good game. We have confidence in the first line. We have confidence in the Guelph line too, without a doubt. But I think that Bert would be a big factor in a Red Wings win for sure, because he's gonna have to be the guy that matches their physicality and kind of gritness.
Now, my X factor completely depends on whether or not he actually starts in this game. But I would have to go with Alexander Nedeljkovic in the fact that he hasn't played in, at this point, almost 2 weeks. And if he gets the start in this one after Thomas Greiss, and we said it wasn't his fault, but after Thomas Greiss lets in 4 goals against Colorado a couple nights ago, they finally give Nedeljkovic his first start in almost 2 weeks. I think he's going to come out hot. I think he's going to come out angry because he almost lost that starting goaltender role, and he's coming out against a Toronto Maple Leafs team at home that the Wings need to desperately beat. I think that he's going to stand on his head if he starts. We don't know if he's going to start. That's still up in the air as of recording this.
Jordan Shrug. I don't know.
Jordan Shrug. I don't know. But if he does play, I think he's the X factor.
Yeah. I mean, him getting back on Friday is a big deal, right? I mean,
that's Friday now.
But it is. I mean, seriously, that is for someone who was doing so well for so long and then kind of dipped a little bit, and now Greiss has gotten the last 3 games. Like to see, it'd be big for the team. I think, especially if they want to continue this second half, kind of against all odds push for Ned to get back up on there.
If you want to keep an against all odds push to grow in your wallet, head over to betonline.net. Football.
Wow, that was a reach. I liked it. You
got to try sometimes. Better than the first one where I just said, I don't know what to do here. Football might be over for the season, but hockey is in full swing for both pro and college hoops. From the latest odds, totals, player performance, props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline.net is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. BetOnline remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. It's not just basketball. BetOnline.net is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage and information. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action.
BetOnline.
Where the game starts. All right, Scotty, it's time. How do you feel about it Friday, baby? It's back.
We are back.
Been about a month? We do it whenever we have a Friday where we just, we got some time for some fun stuff.
Yeah. You go first. I went first last time.
The obvious one here. How do you feel about my new hat?
Oh, phenomenal. It's hard, man.
It goes hard.
It's hard. It goes really hard.
The Pistons, not going to lie, have some pretty fly stuff in the team shop right now.
It's because they're about to be really good again.
Yeah, absolutely. They launched 3 lines this month that are all temporary. The 313 stuff, which the hat I'm wearing, that's permanent. Like, that's their new shtick. But they did a workwear collection. They did a Rosa Parks collection, and they did a Joe Louis collection. And the Rosa Parks and the Joe Louis especially, fire. So
yeah, that sounds heat.
This hat, I saw it today, and this one's black, but you can see the logo's like kind of navy blue.
Yeah.
They had a navy blue version too, and I went back and forth because the navy blue and the navy blue looked really good, but the black hat matches with everything. So I was like, I'll go with the black hat. But I saw this, I'm like, I'm picking that up.
Yeah, that's
Picking
heat,
that
man.
bad boy out.
I like that a lot. I like that an awful lot.
Thanks, buddy. You're going to see it quite a lot.
When
I get a new hat, I wear it a ton. Go ahead. What do you got?
You know what's actually crazy? I can't really wear like hats.
Got a big head, right?
Yeah, I literally can't. They don't sell hats my size in like normal, just like team shops or whatever. I have two. I mean, I look like Megamind right now. Look at
Big
this.
head.
I have such a massive skull. So it's kind of
Nice
sad.
hairline, though.
When I get a how do you feel about my haircut, man?
I told you, you look fly. You look real clean. I like it a lot. You got to take the hood off. Take the hood off.
So fresh, so clean on my way to Charlene.
Take the hood off, dude.
You're unreal. You're something else.
I'm on one today.
He is, man. He's on one, baby. Yeah, no, but it even as like a kid. I mean, growing up, I was buying like the biggest hats available when I was little, and then I got to high school and hats just didn't exist in my size, and I was like, all right. And especially, I had hair back then too. There was no shot, absolutely no shot. But when I get a haircut this short like that, I can, for like a couple of weeks, I can really tightly squeeze into a hat sometimes. So I might rip a hat tomorrow or something for the weekend.
Your head is so big because it stores all that baseball knowledge, that crucial baseball knowledge.
Right, that everyone needs to.
What was
to
Javi
live.
Baez's WAR in 2009 to 2010? I need to know.
Was
that.
it
Was
in
even
the
in the
majors,
league? I don't even know.
No. Was probably like 16 years old. Yeah.
Oh, 09, 010 feels like it was like just yesterday to me.
Yeah, well, it wasn't, dude. So.
Well, thank you, Scotty. I didn't realize that until you said it.
You said it, man.
We're getting heated here.
How do you feel about it? Fridays are always electric. I didn't come prepared. How do you feel about
He's literally looking around his room.
Home Depot buckets?
Just the buckets, not Home Depot itself?
Nope, just the buckets.
Like the 5-gallon buckets.
Yeah.
They serve their purpose.
You better be pro. Yeah.
Yeah,
We're going to have an issue if you're anti-Home Depot bucket. Those things are incredible.
They're multi-purpose. I mean, you can use it for like home repair, but like if you're ever like walking down the street after a Red Wings or a Tigers game, and you get the people out in the street like using them as drums. Talented.
Yeah, so, that's like one of my favorite things. I'll stand there for like half an hour after I leave a stadium and just watch those dudes play, man. It's so cool.
And then you
I
don't
love that
tip
kind
them.
of stuff. Yeah, right. For sure. No, I tip them.
Yeah, you better.
Yeah, no, I flip them over. They can be a chair. For my whole life, they were always holding baseballs. That was the thing because I live by
that makes sense.
A baseball
batting cage.
Yeah, well, I live by a park over. I literally played Little League right next to where I lived. It was very convenient. Or
big league in Scotty's case.
Are you done? Oh, okay, cool. So I would just walk I would just walk the field with a Home Depot bucket at like 13 years old, just like throw baseballs in there. I got like 2 full Home Depot buckets full of baseballs in my house. How do you feel about root beer?
Oh, I love root beer. Love it.
Okay, are you a Barks guy or are you a mug guy?
Actually, I'm a mug guy. Barks was always too sweet for me.
Yeah, I'm a mug guy too.
Yeah.
I don't mind Barks. I really don't.
No. Root beer's root beer.
Like root beer's just good. But
honestly, even a tier above that is the A&W root beer.
A&W root beer, phenomenal. Man, A&W, you get like the foot-long hot dog and then a big-ass root beer. That was the dream in middle school, man. That was a perfect Friday night.
How do you feel about...
Horrible.
Oh, okay. Well, great talk. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll be back on Monday. Are you done?
I deserve that one.
How do you feel about Pokemon video games?
Never played one.
Wow.
But,
as a man around my age, I am shocked to hear that.
You're like starting to get me into that world. Like I never
against
was.
your will.
No, I mean not. But like, I mean that for real. That was never a genre that my entire life that I ever was kind of a part of or like integrated myself into. I mean, so I have friends obviously that were like super into it and stuff, and you know, you and I have had conversations where you're trying to like teach me the basics of that
I'm so sorry
of that stuff. But no, I mean for real, it really isn't something that I ever navigated myself into. Literally my entire life, it was I don't know. I'm the weirdo for that one. Like who was born in the 90s and didn't play Pokemon growing up. I'm the man left out in that one. But
I asked because I'm currently playing through the remake of the Sinnoh region, which was Diamond and Pearl. It's called Brilliant Diamond on the Nintendo Switch, and I was just like, so much of the reason I wanted the game was nostalgia driven because it's a remake of a game I played when I was a kid, and it's fun. But I definitely feel like I've evolved past what Pokemon is. Like, it's definitely a kid's game, and the way it plays, like, it's very simplistic, and like there's not a lot of challenge to it. It's like I like it because this is, you know, it brings out those memories of when I was a kid, but like it's not like hard. I'm just kind of chilling and play. It's a great. I have a day off of work and I just want to play a video game that's not going to cause me to think too hard.
Sure. After you lose in Wordle, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got it tonight. How do you feel about Wordle?
Oh, I mean, you obviously know, but yes, we need to tell the masses. Brian and I are incredibly pro Wordle. I am the reason that all of my friends and family play this game. I became obsessed with it. I love Wordle, and I mean, quite literally every single family member of mine is now like, we send each other our results every day. I have all my friends hooked on it. I love it. I love it immensely. I got Brian on it.
And then Quirtle.
And then, well, I'm going to be honest with you. I play like 8 different variations of Wordle every day now. Like, that's how I either start or end my days. Every single night or morning is me playing 8 to 10 different variations of Wordle. But yeah, I love it. Brian and I always talk smack. I almost just cussed there. Brian and I always talk smack to each other every usually we do ours at night because we usually record decently late and we end up recording past midnight. But Brian and I talk mad smack about our Wordle scores.
Yeah, and it's normally me getting in like the
exact quote from Brian, by the way. I only send mine when I get it.
That's not true.
That is an exact quote.
The exact quote is true.
No, it is.
But I said it in jest.
No. It's an exact quote. And also, I have never missed one. My streak's like 45, and that was the first day I played. So, get wrecked.
I've missed plenty. I've missed like 3 or 4 at this point in my Wordle career. It's not
Can't
great.
Imagine.
Not great, Bob. Not great, Bob. What was I going to say? Oh, and so you getting me into Wordle by proxy got my roommates into Wordle, 2 of my group chats that I'm into Wordle, my sister and my girlfriend all into Wordle. I now send my daily Wordle to like 7 to 8 different people.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
That's because of you, Scotty.
I'm like that. Do my abominable snowman again. Ha.
And on that note, thanks for making Locked On Red Wings your first listen every day. Now make your second listen Locked On Fantasy Hockey. Hosts Steele Roden and Flip Livingstone help you become the expert of your fantasy league. It's free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Scotty, any final thoughts? I had to say it really fast before you cut me off like yesterday.
I think we ball. I think that's all I got today.
That's all we need to say.
That's all we got.
That's because
crazy times out there. Take care of your mentals. Take care of yourself.
Yes.
And we ball.
Good advice. We'll be back with a weekend recap on Monday. Same time, same place. It's your team every day.
Every day.